In this WrestleTalk news, a major potential WWE buyer reportedly pulls out, multiple new WrestleMania matches potentially confirmed, and Tempest reveals Smackdown. Subscribe and enable notification to always on for daily wrestling news videos.
Support WrestleTalk!
In the wise words of our WWE Lord and Savior Triple H, are you ready? Because it's Saturday day, and you know what that means? It's time for some news! With a week now passed since the excellent Royal Rumble event, the road to WrestleMania is in full swing, and the card is starting to take shape. We've got Rhea versus Charlotte, Cody versus Roman, and Bianca against the winner of the Women's Elimination Chamber match. Come on, guys, prayer circle for Asuka to win. Come on, Asuka, you can do it. Redemption tour. As for nailed-on matches, that's about it. However, we can all mentally speculate that we'll perhaps get the Usos versus Zayn and Owens, Logan Paul versus Seth Rollins, Ray finally beating his son Dominic. I mean, that is a bad boy who needs a timeout. We don't actually know if these are 100% set for Mania just yet, but according to the latest Wrestling Observer newsletter from Dave Meltzer, there may be 2 other matches featuring some very big names that we can add to the confirmed list. And that is none other than the long-rumored generational clash between Austin Theory and John Cena. And perhaps, surprisingly, a women's tag team match between Damage Control and the team of Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. 2 matches that, according to Dave Meltzer, are locked in for Hollywood. Moving our focus behind the scene in WWE now, and there has been an update on the impending sale of the company. Well, according to the now sole CEO of the company himself, Nick Khan, who recently appeared on CNBC to discuss the matter, the sale process could be resolved rather soon indeed. According to Khan, with thanks to Fightful for the transcription, the sale could happen quick. I think it's going to be a fast process, maybe 3 months. As was reported yesterday, Khan also made clear that Vince McMahon would willingly step down from the company if it was in its best wishes. But I guess it all depends on who buys the thing, eh? And it turns out we can also provide an update on that matter as well. Or more specifically, who won't be buying it, despite long being amongst the favorite in the race to purchase WWE, Comcast, or NBC Universal, which is the current home of the WWE network in the US, is likely not going to be in the running to buy the company. If yesterday's tweet from the Wrestling Inc. founder, Raj Giri, is to be believed, in the tweet, Giri states, "This is kind of big. David Faber tells Nick Khan that Comcast is probably not in the running to buy WWE. Nick Khan said there's still bullish on Comcast being possible, but there's not much he can say about it. With Comcast potentially ruled out, it truly widens the field substantially, as many saw Comcast as the most likely buyer, with them being the bookmaker's favorite to purchase the company as of last month. So I guess the ball is in your court, Disney, Saudi PIF, Endeavor, heck, maybe even WrestleTalk are in the running. Come on, Ollie, pull those funds together. Now, a hot tag to my buddy, my partner. He should have been the champion. But don't worry, he's gonna have the opportunity to do it again. Now a hot tag to everyone's favorite masked man. No, I'm not talking about Excalibur, I'm talking about Canada. WrestleTalk's very own. Tempest, give me a 5-5. Oh, this is great. House of the Black Mask, yeah. Yeah.
A big shout out to our Patreons, $100 Man CD Horver and the Kessel Run DX Solo. Thank you, Sat, for the hot tag. The Bloodline arrived to massive boos as Kayla asked about Jey Uso, to which a disgusted Paul Heyman responded that they can't confirm or deny Jey's spot in the Bloodline. I forgot how much I loved Paul's disdain for Kayla Braxton, one of the funniest parts of SmackDown during the bad times. We got our opening tag match, the final match in this wacky little tag tournament, as Ricochet and Braun Strowman took on Imperium. Wade Barrett says they should send a clip of Ricochet and Logan Paul into outer space to show aliens what the human race is capable of. I guess it's a better idea than Seto Kaiba sending Yu-Gi-Oh cards into space to teach aliens how to play Duel Monsters, but I digress. This was a very fun tag match. Ricochet is so effortlessly Ricochet is so effortlessly Ricochet is so Ricochet is so effortlessly Sat, how do you say effortlessly?
Effortless.
What's happening right now? This was a very fun tag match. Ricochet is so effortlessly smooth. And I know that isn't breaking news by any means, but holy hell, it stood out to me in this match. First try. Brawny the Tank Engine did his choo-choo thing, running over Giovanni Vinci and coming face-to-face with Walter. Stop that. We already did it. It took 3 months, but we did it. It's done. Ricochet got a hot tag that ended with Walter shoving Ricochet to the ground and getting ejected. Probably should have been grounds for a DQ, but regardless, Walter is gone. Braun got another hot tag, hit the monster bomb on Ludwig Kaiser, and put Ricochet on his shoulders to hit an elevated swanton for the win. I'm not super blown away by the presentation of this duo, but this was a very fun match that the people were very much into. 4 out of 5. Charlotte is backstage and is asked about Rhea Ripley, but talks about Sonya Deville, who then interrupts her saying she'll win tonight. She was lying. We then had a match between Rey and Dominic Mysterio. Well, in a sense, a much wackier, more bizarre sense. What happened was Rey and the New Day were hanging out with some NASCAR people, and Dom showed up with some heel NASCAR people, I guess. Are there heels in NASCAR? I don't know. They bickered and then settled it on the track. You know, how most family squabbles are settled. This was just an ad for some such race going on soon, but if you're trying to take this Mysterio feud seriously at all, this really undermined it. Charlotte then defended the SmackDown Women's Championship against Sonya Deville. This match by regular standards wasn't anything too special, but by SmackDown standards, this was the best presentation the women's division has had in a long time. It was just a big title match, presented well, having been built up to for about a month. The wrestling itself was fine. Charlotte got the win with the figure 8. 3 out of 5. The Bloodline are backstage, which is my favorite way to start a sentence with these reviews, and Roman is angry about Jay. He asks Jimmy if he's spoken to him, and Jimmy says he hasn't heard from him. Roman gets more and more worked up, saying the Usos have a title match next week, and if Jay is only there for his brother and not the whole bloodline, then that's a problem. He tells Jimmy and Solo to go find Jay, and he just sits there seething. The Brawling Brutes then took on the Viking Raiders in one of the colder parts of the show from a crowd perspective. The work was still quite good, as you had 3 big beefy boys and a Butch. Ridge Holland was able to hit Ivar with an Alabama slam, which is pretty nutty to think about, but ultimately the Vikings put Butch away with the Ragnarok, but the important bit of this was what happened after the match. After the match, the Vikings made their way up the ramp, and they were attacked by the artists formerly known as the Banger Bros. Drew and Sheamus got some revenge on the Vikings for last week's beatdown. That should be another very fun match when they do it again. Give me Viking rules. We need more shots of the boat at sea. 3 out of 5. Bray Wyatt is just chilling backstage with Uncle Howdy. That's it. That's the segment. We got a fatal 4-way qualifying match for the Women's Elimination Chamber match between Natalya, Shayna Baszler, Zelina Vega, and Shotzi. On one hand, I like having matches with stakes, especially in SmackDown women's matches, but on the other hand, I feel like there has been one of these big multi-women matches like every month. It also doesn't help that Natalya won for some reason. We almost got a real cool finish as well, as Shayna had Zelina locked in the Kirifuda clutch, and as she was about to pass out, Natalya tried to hit her discus lariat, only for Shayna to duck and lock her in the Kirifuda clutch. Had Natty just passed out there, this would have been really cool, but instead Natty dumped Shayna outside and locked Zelina in the sharpshooter for the win. I guess the chamber needed an easy elimination, but Michael Cole saying Natalya was a favorite to win the chamber because she was in Montreal is comedy, because no one from Canada has ever had trouble winning in Montreal. Match was pretty good though, 3 out of 5. Roman is once again shown backstage, and Jimmy and Solo re-emerge to once again tell Roman Jay isn't answering his phone. Roman gets angry and says of all times to do this, he picks now, WrestleMania season. He sends Jimmy and Solo to their bus for a nice dinner while Roman is going to go to the ring and handle business. Roman then comes out for the main event segment and said he wanted to talk about Cody Rhodes, but instead he'll talk about Sami. He says he has to go all the way back to War Games, where he said he saw what he needed to see from Sami, and that was greed. He says it's the same thing he sees from everyone else, because everyone always wants something from him. He gave Sami the keys to the kingdom, and Sami broke up his family. Sami Zayn then attacked Roman to a massive ovation, hitting Roman with a spear and getting on the mic to say that he never wanted anything from Roman, but now he does. Now he wants the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Sami is jumped by Jimmy and Solo, but before Solo can kill Sami with the hip attack with a chair, Roman stops him and says that Sami broke up his family, so he's gonna give Sami what he wants. He wants Sami in Montreal so he can break Sami in front of his family. Hot f***ing dog. I love when a location plays into the story. We have talked a lot this week about whether it should be Sami or Cody in the main event spot for WrestleMania, and after Raw, it seemed like Cody was the perfect choice, but we may just go back and forth on this the entire way to WrestleMania because Sami Zayn is the top babyface of SmackDown and an indisputable main event star. This main event segment was excellent, the best thing on the show, and I cannot wait for Elimination Chamber. 5 out of 5. Overall, this was a pretty darn good SmackDown. The worst things on this show were merely good, while the best stuff continues to be the best story WWE has told in decades. I'm gonna give this SmackDown a 4 out of 5, but you should most certainly go out of your way to see it. And that just about wraps things up from me. Make sure to check out the latest episode of Survival Series, where everyone tries to name every Elimination Chamber winner, available right now over on Parts Unknown. And you can also check out the extended version of that show over at Patreon at the $10 tier, patreon.com/WrestleTalk. Until then, I've been Tempest, and that was wrestling.
Everything about this experience, Tempest, has been horrendous. Like waiting outside, it's like a dentist waiting room. And you come in here, it's like being in, it's like how I imagine the CIA interrogate people, except sort of a nice Canadian interrogating me.